in the North Bank. This is a belated big Sunday show on a Tuesday. Don't check the calendars. It is definitely Tuesday. But we missed out on Sunday, and we're now here to go through that great game against Burnley last weekend. Joining me today is a debutant, Ian, down below. He's joining us to talk Arsenal. How's it going, Ian?
All good, my man. How are things with you?
Yeah, all good. Nice and busy, but that's what you'd expect with four boys.
4 boys. Wow.
4 boys. Football crazy.
What ages roughly?
Twins are 14, 10, and a 3-year-old.
Wow. No wonder you're a busy boy.
Yeah, so it's all good. It's all good. And Richard, how are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Busy as you at work and kids as well, but good after what we could describe a great.
Yeah, no, look, still buzzing from it really, but it's been a great week for us Gunners. In all honesty, 5-0 win at Turf Moor. Probably a place where we've always gone, and we've always been a little bit kind of that kind of like grimace. Obviously, the Dyche years and everything like that, and your Sunday always has that little kind of moment where we're always at that little worry, isn't you? How many are we going to get or whatever, but we've done really well, and we secured a 5th consecutive league win, and we've come into a real good position. Certainly moving forward, haven't we? When you look at it, so I've got things popping up all over my screen. Just bear with us a minute.
I have to say, Paul, you sent a shiver down my spine when you said Sean Dyche and Burnley in the same sentence. Boom.
Yeah, we've got to try and avoid that. But we look at it and we think we've gone 5 straight wins. We're going straight into Champions League. Momentum's going well. We've got, I think we're cooking on near full gas, barring a couple of changes. And City dropping points last week helped us out as well, which made the smile even bigger. So so I think it's time we dive in and we go. Sorry, there's a dog going mental just down here. So after this we're gonna go into it. So evening. I'm struggling. I've been suffering as well with the old flu or the illness that's going around everywhere. So I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get mute very quickly. So this I'm being interrupted all sorts. I've got a little one running around and. This is what this live broadcast is all about.
This is what the West Ham and Burnley dressing rooms sounded like.
No, just bear with us a minute, and it will calm down. But so I'm not into animal violence or cruelty, but I was going to throw the dog out the window just a minute. But no, she's all fine. So Saturday, and we look at going into that game, and I sent shivers down the back when we mentioned about those kind of moments where we've had Sean Dyche, and just horrible kind of performances, haven't we? And we made it look so calm and easy. And I know it's a totally different Burnley team. The way they set up, the way they actually are. Yeah, they're not a team. They're nowhere near what they probably should be. Certainly when we question them moving up from the Championship. When you consider Luton, you look at how well they've done as a team and playing to strengths. It hasn't quite worked, has it? I'm going to go to you, Richard. Sorry, Rich. Yeah, Richard. We're going to go to you. I was going to. I've all muddled up. I was looking at you, Ian, and I've just said Richard. So I'll find out, Richard. What's your take on Burnley this season? Obviously, company getting a lot of plaudits and everything last year to what they're putting out. It's not really worked out, has it? You hear me, Richard?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You went mute for a second. That's why I put this. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
So,
what were your thoughts on Burnley? How they've started?
we started really well. I thought. I think that first 4 minutes was form, wasn't it? And getting that early goal, it meant we were allowed to play the type of game we wanted to. And I think if we hadn't scored, it would have got a bit nervy if it went into the second half and we were waiting. But I think it allowed us to get that control, play within ourselves and search out those openings when they.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was just talking more in general, just of Burnley and how they approaching games through this season. It hasn't been great, has it, Ian? I think.
Sorry. Yeah, no, they've been very, very poor. I thought Burnley, out of the 3 teams that came up, I thought Burnley were going to probably outdo the whole lot of them. Luton have been the team, I think, that have done it the best. Forest have done well so far, but no, Forest didn't come up. But Burnley, I think, compared to, dare I say it, the Sean Dyche era, and now look, it's going to take them a good while to get to be able to play good football and stay in a league like the Premier League. It's going to take company a long time. Now he may not be there by the time they get to that position. But I think sometimes when a team comes up, sometimes you have to play not dirty, but you need to focus on your defense. But I think they've been very, very poor, surprisingly poor so far. Now, long may it continue. I despise Burnley through all the history we have with them. So yeah, I've been seriously unimpressed. And company, I've been kind of unimpressed with him as well so far. Granted, he doesn't have the squad that a lot of managers in the Premier League do, and he may go on to do good things. Like there's a good manager in there. He got them up from the Championship at a canter, as far as I remember. And but at the moment, they're as poor as Sheffield United, and the table shows that. And Sheffield United are awful. So yeah, very unimpressed by them so far.
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, as Richard alluded to, before the match, I suppose we just say about the lineup. I think the lineup picked itself, didn't it? In all honesty, an unchanged team. No players coming back really. And yeah, it does pick itself at the moment. And yeah, no dramas there. Were there? We're never going to really change what we done from last week. But yeah, to start with that brilliant, lucky away kit. Yeah, the very dull looking away kit, and we've come out of the blocks. We've played really well to start with, haven't we? And it's just Odegaard, Talk to me about Odegaard, Richard. Just in a word, in that first half, I thought he was phenomenal. Right, I'll go to you. I think there's an issue with
Yeah.
Richard.
I think Richard's having an audio issue. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I completely agree. Odegaard is at the centre of absolutely everything we do. Like to score that early, you could say there's an element of luck in it. I don't mean the actual goal was lucky, but you know it's not easy to score early in a game. But one thing I think we're doing so well, and Odegaard is at the centre of it, is that we're grabbing games by the scruff of the neck, like literally from the kickoff. We're not giving the opposition team a second to settle on the ball. And Odegaard is in the middle of the pitch. Like he's known as a kind of a playmaker, but the work rate he puts in to press teams, and he's often the person who gets the ball back or makes the person give the ball away. And I just think he's at the centre of it all, and he deserved the early goal. He when we're able to like stifle a team so quick and so early, we did it against West Ham. It demoralizes them straight away. Like the opposition team have nowhere to go, and kind of not that the writing's on the wall, but it gives us then an excellent base to push on. It doesn't always bring early goals. The early goal is always an advantage. It's a bonus. But I was delighted that Odegaard got it because he deserves it for his recent displays. He really does.
Yeah, no, definitely. Just a quick hello to G. Evening all. Yeah, so yeah, glad you're watching, G. Hope you're well. Mark, evening everyone. And this year's Champions League title winner for Arsenal. So I think that's a positive. That's a positive one on there. We'll flag that one up for later. But yeah, look, we talk about that kind of being able to manage the game, and we talked about it last year, and we struggled, didn't we, at certain times to basically kill teams off, to take control, take ownership of the situation, and make sure we come away with stuff. And yeah, people will say it was only West Ham, it was only Burnley, but look, you've still got to beat. It was only Palace. I mean, you've got to beat these teams, and there's times where we've been to these places, and even at home, we struggle, or we have struggled. Don't take your chances. So yeah, I think that first half was as good a performance as
we've had in a long time. Yeah, and I would say, just on you saying to the people who would say, look, it's only Burnley, it's only Palace and so on, like we're doing what Man City do. Man City are the teams is the team that turns these teams over week after week, and we applaud them for it, because we always talk about Man City at this time of the year just going through runs of 10, 12, 15 games in a row. I know we're only on 5, but yes, it's only Burnley, and yes, it's only West Ham, but we're doing it. Like in the past, we've been kind of naive. I think last season is a perfect example of that, and I just think we're a much more grown-up side now, who are now controlling games. Last year, we were quite emotional. Like we were, I just think a little bit naive, and I just think that like beating these teams, like we're favourites in them, but to be beating them 5-0 and 6-0 and 5-0 with Palace as well, it takes some doing, and I think we deserve huge credit for that, as the likes of Man City have gotten credit for over the years.
Yeah, definitely. Look, we've got to go on a run, and I've said this for numerous times. Certainly earlier in the season, this is going to be down to whoever does that 10-game winning run. Funny enough, the 10th game, if it happens, then it will be Man City. So you suddenly think that, and you suddenly think if we can get through that, certainly if we can pick up maximum points all the way through to that City game,
Yeah.
And I think we're in very good shape.
Yeah,
looking forward.
and if we've gone like the rest of those games up to the Man City game unbeaten, there's a chance that Man City might drop points in between now and then. Like they dropped unexpected points against Chelsea. They've got Liverpool in the next few games. So yeah, it could be massive. And we just literally have to take it game by game and have the same attitude. Try and grab every game by the scruff of the neck, like we have the last few early.
Yeah, they've got Man United as well, haven't they?
Yes, that's right. Yes, yeah. They have. Yeah, they in the middle of their last. How many games do they have left? Whatever it is, 12, 13 games. The middle section of theirs is their tough run. Like they've got us, Man United, Liverpool. Whereas our tough run, I don't even want to say it, but our tough run are the last 4 or 5 games. You know, we have to go to the toilet bowl and very Old Trafford. But yes, so we kind of nearly do need to kind of rack up points now. In the lead up to those games.
Yeah. No, but look, let's go back into the game, and obviously it was a dominant first half, and it did take us a while to make that dominance even show a little bit more to get that second goal, wasn't it? It was 41 minutes, wasn't it? When
40 minutes. Yeah,
41 minutes. When Trossard goes down for the penalty. Again, I think good work again from Odegaard for what was Odegaard, wasn't it? For played the ball through. Lovely
into Havertz.
Yeah, and then was it Havertz?
Yeah, well, Odegaard played the ball into Havertz. And Havertz slipped.
And a little nice. Yeah, it was a nice little pass, wasn't it? And then Trossard just.
Yeah, and there were 18 passes in the build up to that. I looked back at the goals earlier on today, and I didn't realise it, but there was a big move in the lead up to that. And there was 18 passes in the lead up to it. But yeah, I loved Havertz's little ball and Odegaard's as well.
Oh, you're so prepared. That's
well,
that's unbelievable.
I was kind of looking at the goals, and I it just caught my eye that I said we've been passing the ball for a while here, so I rewound it and I counted them. Because watching it live, you don't pick up on that. So I went back and had it, and I counted them. There was 18 passes, which is impressive.
Yeah, no, look, we've seen some good football over the years, and many passing goals, and some of the best goals that's gone on, and look, it's nice just to see now we're putting people to sword. 2-0. I'll tell you what, I looked at that penalty and Saka standing up.
It still gives you nerves because of what happened last season, obviously. Yeah.
Look, you do look at it, and it was the same with obviously last week. Obviously, same colour shirts, and you're just like looking at it, weren't you? And like last week was obviously that key one where obviously he missed the one last season, and it was like there's so much pressure on him. And I still think there was enough pressure. There was I think more pressure. I think on this one. Because again, he's now got to now do it. But again, he's seen a penalty go in. The keeper's seen him score the penalty again. He's trying to second guess him, and he's a young English goalkeeper, and you probably had visions of potentially him going and missing it, or like the keeper making a save.
And it wasn't the most confident of penalties. Thankfully, he struck it well enough for it to go under Trafford. But it was a strange movement from Trafford. I know there was an element of Saka, the way he ran up to the ball. He kind of did a little jig, but I still thought Trafford, like halfway down the replay of the goal from behind the goal, he just stopped. Had he kept going, he would have saved it very easily. I think.
If you look at his stance, it was like he's tried to almost like half sit down, and this is what I say. He made himself really low, but whether or not he was expecting a low shot, and he's trying to get himself as low as he can.
Yeah, and he did
causing problems.
And he did the exact same thing for Saka's second goal in the second half. He made himself real small, It's he does some strange things. Trafford, as you say, he's only a young goalkeeper, and
Yeah.
he's probably have a bright future. But he's done that a few times this season, and he did it twice in that game. Yeah, and it's a strange thing to do in a penalty because you want to make yourself as big as possible as a goalkeeper. You're a goalkeeper.
Yeah. I thought it was strange. You know you have an inkling of where players are going to go. You've got obviously be written all over bottles, or the water bottles normally.
Yeah.
All the instructions, so you know where they're going to go. You've been briefed by your coaches. Yeah, I mean, you pick one side and you go for it. You don't make it stacked against you. And I think he kind of didn't really, although he got fairly close to it. He made it really hard for himself.
You can always tell when the home crowd, when the keeper gets near to it, you obviously hear the Arsenal fans celebrating, but you hear that from the home fans as well. Because watching it on TV, you get it for a split second. You're like, because like for a nanosecond, I thought he'd gotten to it, he had saved it. But yeah, thankfully it hit the back of the net.
That's the one. Yeah, no, 100%. His second goal straight out of into the second half, and it was quite interesting. It was like took me back to the conversation with where he come out and said that he had with Arsene Wenger about using his right foot more.
Using his right foot, yeah.
And look, it was a really good finish, and yeah, he meant it. He absolutely meant it. And spanked it in the top corner.
Yeah, and we knew he meant it because he did the exact same thing against Everton last season. And it's funny because you can nearly hear the team talk before the game. But you can hear Vincent Kompany saying to the defender, keep him on his right hand side, because obviously Saka cuts in on his left, a la Arjen Robben. And curls them in, and you could see the defender just kind of angle himself to say, "You're not getting it on your left side, on your left foot." And Saka just went, "No problem. I'll just spank it into the top roof of the net." And the keeper again. Yeah, it was beautiful. It really was, and fully deserved. It's great to see him using both feet, because there'll be now future teams or future opponents looking at that. We'll be thinking, which way is he going to go now? You don't want to be too predictable going on your left all the time.
No, and this is my only kind of gripe with him. Not gripe. That's too dramatic.
Yeah. Your only mild concern.
Yeah, just being able to just take players on the outside and just not keep tucking inside and just maybe taking the safe option. Yeah, just literally go for a throw and just get on the outside a bit more. Just be a bit more direct, but that's about it. That's as far as my scathing's going to go.
Well, that wasn't bad.
No, but look, we had that goal, really good. I think that set the tone again for the second half, and
that knocked the stuffing out of them, really.
Yeah, I think they start. They come out like they'd obviously had a rocket, or they'd had some heated kind of moments. And not saying that they were. I think they did manage to get the ball forward, didn't they, before the goal? And then I think on our next attack, I think that's when it happened.
Yeah.
If I remember,
there was only it was like less than 90 seconds in the second half when it happened, and I think they hooked the ball up, and we broke down the other end, and but it was so important because the old cliche of next goal is vital, especially at 2-0. If it goes 2-1, you never know what happens. So to get the third one, that just knocked us. I think that knocked the stuffing out of Burnley, really.
Yeah, but Trossard's goal on 66 minutes was real nice, wasn't it? it was good.
He struck it really, really well. It was a bit scrappy in the build-up. I think Kivior did very well down the left. He swung it in, but then it kind of went in between a few players. And Havertz actually took a bad touch, which thankfully it bounced off the defender. Defender was poor there as well, but when Trossard got it, he finished it with a plum, as they say. It was a lovely strike. It was another confident strike. Not as thrashed into the back of the net as Saka's second, but it was a lovely stroke into the corner. Yeah,
Nice controlled finish, wasn't it? It was just one of those nice, just caress it into the corner. And
and I love those goals. Those goals are really important for confidence, because you look at the chance he missed in the first half where he fresh aired the ball, and I think he had another chance as well during the game. So to get one where he just flushed it into the back of the net, like they're just confidence builders. It wasn't a tough goal to score, but I think goals like that can be confidence builders. It was a really nice goal. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, definitely. One play we haven't mentioned is Martinelli. I heard he didn't get the assist for the first goal.
Yeah, it was absolutely shocking. I mean, I watched it a few times today when I was looking back at the goals, and it must have taken a deflection, but I actually can't pinpoint where it took the deflection. I think it may have came off the defender closest to him and went across to Odegaard. But like that's a sin not to be given somebody an assist for that. Like,
I don't get what. No, I can't work out why they've said no.
Yeah, those kind of goals, panels, and so on, like they just don't make sense. Didn't they take Gabriel, or did they roll back Gabriel's goal a few weeks ago?
They did eventually, yeah.
So they gave it back to him, did they?
Yeah, I think. I'm pretty certain they did. Yeah, because it was on target. I think that's what it was.
Yeah. But Martinelli deserved it. He was very good, excellent on Saturday, and you can see. And in a way, this is a good thing. You could see that he was a little bit frustrated that he didn't score. And it was this kind of similar against West Ham as well. That did he score? Did he score against West Ham? But we're scoring all these goals, but he's not getting a couple of them. And you could see he's delighted that we're scoring, but you can see that he's a little bit annoyed. I love watching other players' reaction to when we score a goal. You just watch them out of the corner of your eye. And there was a couple of goals where, I'm not saying that he was unhappy that we scored. Obviously, he was delighted, but he didn't, he wasn't really mad celebrating because he wasn't involved too much in it. And he's such an important player for us. He scares the living daylights out of defenders. And I know we're going to talk about Porto. I'm looking forward to him against a very old defender, but we'll talk about that later on.
Yeah. So we were talking about it being very calm, very easy in that second half. Obviously, Havertz finishing off a comfortable performance. So comfortable, it was his last touch of the. It wasn't him, was it? It was he basically. Well, was it? What were we on?
Havertz goal. The quick throw in.
His last touch, wasn't it? But before he'd obviously done that, before he'd obviously scored 78 minutes, we'd made 3 subs. So we were in this kind of moment where hang on a minute, we've made 3 subs with 20 minutes left, and we're suddenly thinking some players are going to get some nice rest without
some well-needed rest.
Needing to worry about it, and you're just suddenly thinking, we've still got another 2 subs, and then 8 minutes later, Havertz pops up, scores, pokes it through the goalkeeper. Probably not. Was I comfortable or confident that it was going to go in? No. But again, he's done the job and he's got the goal. But it's an interesting one with Havertz, and again, it's going to malign everyone. There's fans who will never have a good thing to say about him through be it the price tag, the salaries on, who he actually played for previously.
Yeah,
I thought he had a really good game, and I thought he had a really good game last game round. And I think he just offers that physicality. And we talk about what we lost with, say, Xhaka in those kind of areas. And when we haven't got a large or a more imposing kind of like midfielder who has a bit of height, then we struggle. we've seen it before when we've chucked it, we've tried it with, say, even like a Vieira or something like that, and we lose that kind of a physical battle. So I thought he linked up play really well. I thought he was always a handful. He was arriving late into the box. He was linking up play and just linking up with Odegaard. And just there were some real good passages of play. What did you think about him?
I thought he was excellent. I think he's been excellent for weeks now, even longer. I'd say a couple of months. I think it's underrated what he does. I think he, as you say, he links up play really, really well. His physicality. I was at the Liverpool game when we beat them 3-1, and I thought he was brilliant in that game. Like what he did to Konate.
I was going to say one or the bad one.
Yeah, the good one. Even though we played well in the FA Cup game, but I thought the 3-1, like what he did to Konate, he was an excellent defender. He couldn't handle him. He got him sent off with 2 yellow cards, and they were both through Havertz's physicality. And a lot of people are saying, well, I don't know what's Kai Havertz's position, what's his best position. But the beauty of somebody like Kai Havertz, and you could probably say the same about Trossard, is that he doesn't have to have a best position. Wouldn't it be better? Isn't it better to have 2, 3, 4 really good positions that you can interchange during a game or from game to game, rather than having one specialist position? I just think that he's like a Swiss Army knife at the top end of the pitch. I think he's really, really good. I can understand people asking about the money, how much we spent on him. But he's only been playing for us not a handful of games, but he's played for us basically just over half a season. The best is yet to come. Look what Arteta has done with all the other players, given time. And I think him and Declan Rice is another one who's just going to get better and better and better. I'm a big Havertz fan. I was from the start, I just hope his arc continues.
Yeah, no, just going to pop in to say hello to DWTT. Hello. Hope you're doing well, Gary. Good to see you on. My take on it is that I don't think he was maybe say a number one target at that moment. Obviously, it was a player that Arteta wanted, but when we talk about the grand scheme of things and we're trying to add the ingredients into the mix, I think it was just because the opportunity was there to take it that he's taken it. Whereas I think there are other ingredients that he wants to get in to then potentially make Havertz look the player that he wants him to be. You can see what I'm saying? Where he's almost done it, but we haven't got the other ingredients to add to the mix because the opportunity's not there to have. So
to get them,
I look at it like that as well. I look at the striker situation a little bit like that as well, where it's the final piece of the jigsaw that he hasn't touched. But I just think it's because he probably doesn't run around. It was kind of similar to what Ozil was kind of lambasted for a little bit.
Yeah. A lot of people compared him kind of just in his style, even just how he runs. He's kind of languid a little bit to Ozil. Yeah, and I do get that comparison. I really do. But I just think he's made us, compared to last season, and you mentioned Xhaka, and I miss Granit Xhaka. I would have liked him to stay for another season, but I really hope he goes on and wins the Bundesliga, and Harry Kane is left holding a cannon at the end of the season. That would be just magic. But I think Havertz. This might be controversial to say. I'm not saying that he offers more than Granit. I'm not saying that, but I just think he can play in more positions than Xhaka could, and I just think he's like you can plug him in to any particular system that you want, relatively speaking. And
Are you saying Havertz is a better left back than Granit Xhaka?
Well, he did play. Wasn't a left back he played for Germany? Or
controversial. Hold on.
I just want that quoted now on Twitter. But yeah, no, I've been a fan of Havertz this season. I know he did have a period where he wasn't producing an awful lot, and that was a tough period. But I just think overall, like I've liked what we've gotten out of him so far, and I think there's more to come. I really do.
Yeah, so I say I've had this conversation for about 2-3 months now, where when things aren't going right, and we look at that little period where we kind of had a lull, and we weren't getting the results, and we weren't getting the performances as well. We were kind of showing that we were creating chances, but then still not putting away, not taking those chances. We've struggled trying to play or try and keep up with a season where we had 2 of our midfielders from the previous season missing from our squad, and you look at how the chemistry's changed, how all the dynamics have changed in the midfield, and you're suddenly thinking, well, is there any wonder why Havertz has appeared a little struggle? If it's not his, maybe say, number one position, but he's there to do a job or try and suit a profile for those areas of the field, as well as then not having a Thomas Partey to go alongside Declan Rice or whatever. It was one of those where you just look it's a no-brainer, and it's pretty fitting now when you're suddenly looking at it now, and you're seeing the cogs turning a bit more, and we seem to be actually firing a bit. And again, yeah, look, they're lower league opposition, but we've still got to do it. You've still got to get through the low blocks. You still got to create the chances. You still got to finish them off. At the end of the day,
you have to take care of business. It's like every league champion that you can think of just took care of those teams. Wasn't there a Man United team who I think they beat home and away one season back in Fergie's heyday? They didn't have a great record against the top, probably top 3 at the time, maybe. But I think they beat every team home and away from like 6th down or something like that. They just, that won them the league. They just took care of business against the lower teams, and it took the heat out of the bigger games because they just accumulated so many points. So it's important to put these teams to the sword and just do that. Like there's no shame. Like everybody plays Burnley home and away, and West Ham. Well, West Ham aren't in the Burnley bracket, but everybody plays Palace and Burnley home and away. And the week before we beat Burnley, they gave Liverpool a game at Anfield.
Yeah.
They were 1-1 at half time, weren't they? Or maybe just after half time. And obviously Liverpool just pushed on, but like that wasn't straightforward, and that was at Anfield. So yeah, I just think I just think we're motoring really well, and the likes of Havertz and those guys are a huge part of what's going on.
Yeah, 100%. Just an update. If people are in shelters, some are without the internet or anything like that, or doing something like what we're doing, and we haven't got the screen on. Yeah, City 0-0 at half time with Brentford. So look, hopefully Brentford can do something, but cue a goal on 46 minutes. And
that's a big shock, even at half time.
Yeah, at their place. Look, but I'm more a believer. Every single time where I see it, and it was like, we need City to kind of drop points, or worried about City doing what. Just don't worry about City. Just worry about us. Don't care about anything else. Just worry about us. 3 points every single week. Couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Couldn't care less about any other team. As long as we're doing the business, we'll get the result.
Yeah. Start every game as though you're playing against a high level team, and as I said earlier on, grab control of it early, and the rest will take care of itself. And as you say, don't think of anything else. And I think Arteta is a huge advocate of that. He just focuses on the team. Yeah, I agree 100% with you. Yeah.
Richard, him and Rice have 9 goals and 5 assists between them. So, yeah. So a little stat. So it shows that we're pushing goals around.
And there's the age-old debate. Well, I say age-old, but the recent debate, should I say, about we need to get a striker, and we do eventually. But for me, around that time, when we were, we lost to Fulham and we lost to West Ham, and we couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. It was always going to be a case of just having to work on who we have, because we know the guys can score. And we've seen it last season. We saw it earlier on this season. They were just in a funk for some reason, and thankfully, whatever it was that was going on in Dubai, whatever they were feeding them or letting them drink, I don't know, but they came back and found whatever it was that they were missing. It's been some change since they got back. It's amazing.
I just think it was a good break to have to maybe say certain kind of beliefs and stuff that they maybe have forgotten to do, and just get everything back to basics.
Yeah, and just to say as well, like we're talking about these these big wins, and maybe they're against lower opposition. That's fair enough, but like something that struck me after the Burnley game was that there's no talk of refs. There's no talk of the goalkeeper situation. Like there's no stress in the team. All of a sudden we're I'm using the phrase a lot now, taking care of business. Like the way we're playing at the moment and putting teams to the sword, there's no drama surrounding the club, which is amazing. The players aren't being soaked in all this. Arteta's not being dragged from pillar to post because he stepped outside his technical area, and that's all because we're just taking control of games, looking after what we need to do, and winning games comfortably. Because when things aren't going well, when we're not putting the ball in the back of the net, it's all about why are we playing right, and it was the ref's fault. We're just taking all of that out of the equation with these results. With these big win results, you wouldn't have it if it was a 1-0 stressful win. There was a lot of emotion last season, even with last-minute winners. I know we had a last-minute winner, a couple of them actually, with Declan Rice this year with Luton and against Man United. But it seemed like every second win last season was like us all having a heart attack at the Emirates Stadium because we scored a last-minute winner. And all that's gone. That's another side kind of benefit of these big wins, is that they're just completely stress-free. And I love that element of it as well.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like Arsenal.
No, it's very un-Arsenal. You're right.
I'm not used to winning games 2-3-0 and then maybe say conceding 1 or 2 goals and then having a really nervy 10-minute period, because that's what being Arsenal fans all about. And going a goal down and for 80 minutes and then coming back to win in the last 5 minutes. That's a standard Arsenal.
Yeah. And that's what last season was all about. And it was amazing. I wouldn't have changed it, well, apart from mostly, going on and winning the league. But, those games take its toll on us fans. But can you imagine the toll it takes on the players? And these big wins, and you touched on it earlier on, Paul, that we're now able to take players off. We can give Bukayo Saka a rest. We can take Declan Rice off. They're not playing every last minute because we need a goal in the 96th minute. It's a relief, as you say, just so un-Arsenal. Like
Saka's one of the main ones when you look at it, and Rich has just said, like the last 4 games, like we've seen him 76 minutes, 67 and 63. So he is micromanaged now, but I think it would have been nice just a little bit sooner. But as I say, when the team isn't playing well and purring, then it's a little bit harder to suddenly start taking off your player that potentially is going to make a difference. And this is the issue. It's when you can say putting in trust. If you bring in a Reece Nelson or whatever that, and he doesn't perform again, who's gonna? What's the rhetoric on that side? If Arteta puts in a couple of changes and then we don't win a game at home or whatever, it'll be Arteta. a novice manager, blah blah blah. And it's like, well, all right, you're trying to use players, you're trying to bring them in, they haven't performed, and it's like, well, there you go. Yeah, we've given them contracts, we've given them there, but they are there. This is what we've got until they actually go out the door, and the next breed comes in, or the next couple of transfer windows when they're decided. Nketiah you can put into that mix as well.
Yeah.
Decided that enough's enough on that side. If you've had your chance, we're going to take the money with. You know what I mean? That's why we've got the contract, the 5-year contract. Give us 2 years, show what you can do, or 3 years. We've got 2 years left to get value from you, and that's what I see with all these contracts now. And the same with Ramsdale now. In the end of the day, I think on that side, and yeah, I think Raya deserves a massive pat on the back as well, because
he's been so good. I think,
what we haven't really. There's lots of noise about he hasn't had to show or prove that he is the number one. It's basically he's come straight in and he hasn't had to work for it. He hasn't had to do anything for it, and with that came expectation. It came pressure. The whole situation around Ramsdale and Raya put added pressure on it, and it was a media. You know what I mean? Like a wonderland, wasn't it? It was just they're trying to make something out of nothing again, and yeah, could it have been done differently? Again, I put things to again. It was a signing just because it could happen. That was it. It was available to do, and that's why I said I think that Havertz deal was a deal to
be done.
To be done at that point.
Yeah. Well, one thing to factor in with the David Raya signing was that Arteta tried to sign Raya before he signed Ramsdale.
Yeah.
So you never forget your first love and all that. I think. Say again.
What are you saying there? There's nothing else. Come on, we got distance ourselves here. No. Oh yeah, first loves, yeah, always.
Yeah, like I can completely understand seeing what David Raya has done since he's come in terms of how he the calmness that he brings. We're speaking about having stress-free games, and David Raya is a big part of that, I think. Now, don't get me wrong, I was the biggest Ramsdale fan. I love Aaron Ramsdale. If anybody gave out about Ramsdale, my cousin might be listening to this, and she gave him dog's abuse, and I'd be nearly his guardian. I loved Ramsdale, and when David Raya came in, I wasn't overly happy about it. But now, with the benefit of hindsight, it was completely the right thing to do. What he's done since he's been in goal, and brought that calm to us, I think is fantastic, and that's what Arteta wants. You can see what type of team Arteta wants. He wants a controlling, calming, stress-free team. And as much as I love Aaron Ramsdale, I think the writing's on the wall. Along with, and you're right, the likes of Reece Nelson and Eddie, I think the time has come. I think the club are very clever and wise to give them their contracts when they did, because we need to get value out of them now. And yeah, like those three could very well be funding our magic striker next season. So it'll be sad. It'll be sad to see them go, but I think it's time. We've evolved past. Definitely Reece and Eddie. We've evolved past them, and I think it's time.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a big one as well. I think Partey. Certainly. I was talking about him due back for the Brentford away game. That's when he was originally supposed to be back.
Yeah.
We're still a situation where we've no idea when he's going to be back.
No. It would not surprise me hugely if we didn't see him again. Now, that said, somebody did send me a text earlier today that apparently he's going to be in the squad tomorrow. So that could completely blow out what I've just said, but you don't know whether it's true or not. So to be honestly, right, when it comes to Thomas Partey, he now this might be controversial to say, but he's probably the best, definitely one of the best players I've ever seen live at the Emirates. He is, to me, he's sensational what he does. Like maybe as I'm saying that, I'm thinking of the players I've seen play at the Emirates, and maybe I've gone. He's probably one of the best midfielders I've seen at the Emirates. Bearing in mind, I didn't really get to see the likes of Vieira and so on, and they didn't really play at the Emirates either. But I just think Thomas Partey's a sensational player, and the fact that we're doing so well without him, that's an awful lot to do with Declan Rice. We haven't missed him too much because of Declan, but he's a huge miss. And I think I just hope if we don't see him, I think he's either way. I think he's gone in the summer. I just hope we get a few quid for him. I just hope that we don't sell him for 2 million quid or something.
Well, that's it. I said at the end of the day, it's if we get the only thing that could save him was that he go through the rest of the season without injury through into the summer, and then that would be it. And you suddenly think, okay, well, he's still got value to us. If he's coming in, he's playing 1 or 2 games, or as I say, that was late November. He was supposed to be back. We're now in February.
Nearly March, heading towards March.
Yeah, that's it. Well, and it's like you're suddenly thinking, okay, it's like a race between Timber and Partey to be fit first. And one's had a knee surgery, and you look at it and you just suddenly think, well, okay, well, if he can be fit for March and then take us through April and May, then that will be the test, because we need everyone back for these last months, because there's an absolute stinker in every single month now.
I think out of the 3 teams, us, City, and Liverpool, I think we've the hardest run in, and especially I shouldn't bring it up again, but those last 4 games with the Toilet Bowl and Old Trafford, I don't even want to think about it, because if we're still in the title race, it's like we may, as fans, we may not survive those few weeks. But look, put it this way: if we keep up this form and this level of performance, Tottenham don't scare me. Man United certainly don't scare me, even if it's at their ground. I may come back to, or those words may come back to haunt me. But if we play the way we're playing right now against Spurs and Man United, with them playing well, at their best, we'll beat them. I've no doubt whatsoever. But we have to be performing well when those games come around. As you say, the City one is obviously that's huge, and then the City Liverpool game is going to have a huge bearing on it all as well. So, but anyway, we're getting probably a bit too far ahead of ourselves.
Well, that's it. At the end of the day, there's going to be everyone's going to be taking points off each other, I'm sure, and that's what's going to help, I think, because there's not just us versus Man City on a shootout. There are other teams that will probably spring a surprise, but as I said, 13 games left. Obviously, we've got the big games away, and then Chelsea at home. And you're suddenly thinking, if we beat every other team that we've got around us, then how many points then, additionally, out of those big ones, would be enough? Obviously, we need to get the 6 pointers, obviously. But it's, again, depending on results from other sides, this is the consistency side of things, isn't it?
Yeah.
But as I say, it's too far. It's too far away to worry about.
I know. It's good to dream in one way and think about it, but at the same time, we
let's fight on Saturday and then tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
So
take a game by game.
It's a massive game at the weekend.
I'm absolutely raging because I'm not going to the game. I'm a season ticket holder, but living in Ireland, I don't get to go to all the games. I'd be divorced if I went to all the home games. And I when they beat us 1-0 at St James's, with everything that happened with the goal, I tweeted at the time saying I actually said I don't care if it's one of my kids' birthdays. I said I'm going to that game, like not even knowing when the Newcastle game was, and it's actually my daughter's birthday, kind of the middle of next week, and we're doing a few things for her. So I'm not able to go, but I really really wanted to go to that game because I was so annoyed when that game happened and that decision happened. Like how VAR looked at those three incidents, and I don't want to go back in time, but I really hope that we absolutely spank Newcastle this weekend.
It's going to be. It needs to be an early goal. It needs to be. When you set the tone straight up, because if it's going to be like that was it last season, the 0-0. They absolutely bored the socks off everyone.
Yeah, it was awful. Now they're missing a lot of players. I work with a guy who's a big Newcastle fan, and he said that there's I know from the media as well that they're missing a lot of players. He's very worried about this game. Apparently Isaac is back training, but I don't know if he'll make it or not. That could be deciding, not deciding factor. As I said, I think we're going to beat them the way we're playing, but it'd be great if Isaac wasn't there. It'd make it that bit easier, I think.
Yeah, well, playing with no striker, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. 8 o'clock. Oh.
It's an awkward time, yeah. Like, anything can happen. But look, again, I just think if we do what we're doing, I think Arteta's gotten something into those players that he's just playing. He has them playing consistently at the same level, regardless of who they're playing. And if we do what we did in the last couple of games, as in just take control of the game early, Newcastle will be just chasing shadows, especially at the Emirates. And they don't scare me. Again, might come back to haunt me, but in days gone by, and even last season, I'd have been nervous. But I'm whatever it is, they're not frightening me at the moment.
No.
I'm going to jinx us, haven't I?
You're not. Hopefully not. No. Before we go off to Champions League land, just a little plug for a show. The Hot Talking Point. Obviously, ticketing driven. Lots of gripes, lots of negativity in the fan base about, well, certainly the last 2 seasons. Certainly affecting us, season ticket holders, Ian. 2 seasons, like an 11% rise. You see the cup allocation stripped as well, so you no longer get the 7 cup credits. You just get the 3 group stage games. So yeah, it'd be really good to kind of get lots of fans' thoughts, experiences, just on the ballots and everything like that. So I think that's going to be on the 2nd of March, which is a Saturday evening. There's no game. I think it's the 2nd. I think that's where we've got it. But yeah, it's a free weekend for the Arsenal, so it gives us a good chance to debate and talk about it. Try and raise ideas or whatever. But the more information, the better we can get to the club, because as far as I'm aware, none of the fan forums, the representatives of the groups that they kind of put together were or consulted, I should say, not consult. They probably are being consulted.
They need to console them now, yeah.
But yeah, they weren't consulted, and which then just kind of makes it a bit. Arsenal have really shot themselves in the foot there, where they've offered or put out that kind of that grounding to be thinking, and we want to do stuff for the fans. We want to listen, and all of a sudden we're now gone back to an olden days kind of Arsenal where they don't care whatsoever. So yeah, just a little plug. I'll watch out for social media on that. I'm hoping to get quite a few people. I know there's a few that have been in the pipeline to kind of come on and get opinions and stuff. So it'll be well worth getting involved. But yeah, please subscribe to the channel and get notifications turned on as well, because it will help. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We're hitting near 700 now. So we just need a push. So get helping. Right. So Champions League.
Can you sing the Champions League theme tune or hum it?
It's not. I can't really do it for with the throat I've got. Richard would stand up and he'd be singing it, but no. I'm waiting to see if he reacts. I can still see him in the corner. Yeah, I think he's acknowledging that he would be standing up singing it. But no, I can't. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So there's no theme tune in this show. Sorry. Just put that one out there.
Just quell any possibility.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, we're just not going to do it. And yeah, look, Porto, we get drawn against, and common adversaries. I think is more the word. I think for them. I think we've played them 4-5 times.
I've done a little bit of research about Porto, and can you believe? Well, at this first bit, I'm going to say, I didn't know this. I caught the end of the Arse blog, or the Arsecast preview show with Lewis Ambrose, and he said that the last time we won. Now, I don't know if this is true. I didn't have time to look it up, but apparently the last time we won a Champions League knockout game was against Porto in 2010. That was the last time I know for a fact that the last time we played them was 2010.
That was when we went over there and we lost 2-1.
Yeah, and we beat them 5-0 at the Emirates. Yeah, Nicholas Bentner got a hat-trick. But apparently, I don't know how true it is. I'm sure it is. But that's the last time we won a knockout Champions League game. That's insane. That's 12 years ago. Sorry, 14 years ago. And that blows my mind.
Yeah, look, we can go all the way back to 2006, 2007, and we were in a group stage game. I think beat them 2-0, and then I think 0-0. I think was the end game, and then 2008 and 9. Yeah, they beat us 2-1. I think it was.
Yeah, they were in the group stages. I think we only played them.
It's a common result over there, actually saying that. So I'm hoping that we shackle that idea and we turn it. We've not beaten them over there. We've either drew 0-0 or lost 2-1.
Yeah,
but
any away Champions League game is very tough, and I was delighted when we got Porto. It could have been worse, but it could have been better. I think Porto deserve a bit of credit. Like looking at them, they're third in the Portuguese league. They're 7 points. Yeah, and they looking at their, and I don't know the Portuguese league. I don't know Porto very well, but they seem to be very good defensively. Like they've the second best defensive record in the Portuguese league, and they're only one. They've conceded one more than Benfica, who are top. But they don't score a lot of goals. They've only scored 37 goals, whereas Benfica and Sporting Lisbon have, like, I think one of them has 60 goals and another has 50 odd. So their goal scoring is really poor at the moment. But their defense is very good. So I don't know if that's how the game is going to shape up tomorrow. But as I said earlier on, I'm very much looking forward to Pepe of ex-Real Madrid fame. He's still playing for Porto, and he's this is insane. He's 41 next Monday. 41, and he's the captain of a Champions League team. That's insane.
41.
Yeah, he's 40 now, but he's 41 on Monday, and fair play to him, number one. But if Gabby Martinelli doesn't tear him asunder tomorrow night, because I think Pepe is their right-sided centre half, and I just hope that we target him, because that's the other thing. He might have the game of his life tomorrow and make a mockery of everything I've just said.
Yeah, look, it's going to be an interesting game, and as I say, we've got to go out and we've got to show huge belief. And yeah, Liam on the show seems to think I agree that I think Arteta really wants to do well in the Champions League, and he wants to really give it a go and do it. So I expect a team that's going to be totally on it.
A question for you, Paul.
Yeah.
If we could only win one or the other, which one would you prefer us to win, the league or the Champions League?
It'd probably be the champ. Well, you'd probably take the Champions League actually to shut up a few of the club's fans, or not our club's fans, but other club fans,
the opposition fans.
Yeah, stop West Ham singing about being champions of Europe.
Yeah, the Conference League. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, part of it always is I want to respect the bread and butter as well. So you kind of like, I think that holds more as well. That holds more.
I'd be a traditionalist. Like I pray that we win the Champions League soon for the exact same reasons you've just said. I'm sick and tired of reading tweets saying what a UCL for Arsenal, like I desperately want us to win the Champions League, but for me it's always the league, because the league is 38 games a season. It proves that you're the best across a large period of time. I know obviously in the Champions League you're playing against Europe's best, and there's a lot of prestige that goes with that. And I look, if you offered me Champions League, I'd bite the hand off you. But I'm a traditionalist in that way, and I would lean towards the league, but I wouldn't mind at all if we won the Champions League.
Yeah, no, either one of them would be nice. I'm not going to lie.
Oh yeah, you take either. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I'm not going to. Yeah, I'm not going to demand.
No, don't. We won't be greedy.
We'll try not to be. But yeah, I'm trying to think who's actually gone out there. I'm not. I know, and obviously we've got a couple of youngsters out. Richard said when Yuri's out there. That was something that was quite good as well. When he obviously at the weekend he come on, and yeah, he was being whispered. The people whispering in Arteta's ear, weren't they?
Yeah. Well, that was against West Ham. It wasn't.
West Ham, yeah.
It wasn't last weekend. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And it was amazing to hear Arteta admit to that. Not anything wrong with it, but it's unusual for Arteta to show a little bit of his hands in a way, and what's going on behind the scenes, and the fact that the players, the senior players, were telling him to get him on. It says an awful lot about it. A 16-year-old, he's got a bright future ahead of him. I just hope it's with us, and it looks like it will be.
Yeah, I think he'll get his chance. Like I say, there's obviously talk. You've still got like Patino and all that, but again, there's something about him, I think, as a player as opposed to Patino, and all the hype was built up over a goal in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
And
oftentimes it's nearly the worst thing that can happen. Is a player.
I just look at Patino. I just think it's just very. He's a full proper lightweight version of Emil Smith Rowe. That's saying something. Whereas we still said that Smith Rowe had got to kind of bulk out a little bit and just get that physicality side.
Yeah.
It's almost like Patino's got to have a proper growth spurt to even stand any kind of chance, really.
Yeah, and he's usually talented. Obviously, he's massively talented. But I do agree, he's very, very slight. He'd have to, and as we know through Smith Rowe and even Jack Wilshere, that the more your muscles grow, it can often have a negative impact on who you are as a player. It can
Yeah.
affect your movement and so on. So, yeah. But Ranieri, I'm very excited about. I just hope we don't rush him and kind of ruin him in a way. But I don't think Arteta will. I don't think he will.
No, I think just the squad depth itself shows that probably it isn't going to happen.
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree.
I think. Go on.
I was going to say, what are your thoughts on? There's a lot of kind of furore around, Arteta not bringing on the likes of Ranieri and Ruel Walters and so on, or Ruel Walters. Like, which camp do you sit in? Are you happy that he didn't because we had first teams or first squad players who needed minutes that may help us later on in the season, or would you have preferred, to see some of the youngsters get game time?
I'm still at the fact that I think the manager knows more about them than we'll do, and as nice as it is to see a youngster coming in and trying it and just and getting involved, there's a big difference of actually just being there and making a difference.
Yeah.
And you're suddenly doing it for either the sake of it or is he going to show what he can do? My concern is, and we'll put the Raw Waters one. I don't think he potentially is ready. And I watched a few of the games with the youth team, certainly like last year as well. I didn't think he was one of the full better players in those kind of performances.
Yeah.
If you turn it round and suddenly say, would you be positive? Would you be confident in playing Rail Waters in a Champions League game, or would you prefer to play an experienced pro that we've still got on the books to deal with whatever's come upon? He knows the situation. He knows what it is. He might not be the best, but I don't know. It's one of those. It's an awkward one, and you're suddenly thinking: is it like the trusty option, or you know what I mean? Or do you go
the unknown? Yeah, the unknown youth. Yeah. Yeah, and I think Arteta's played this well because we're alluding to the C word here. I believe like Cedric is obviously
I didn't want to say his name.
Yeah, I know. I just said I'd get it out of the way.
He fell for it. He fell for it. That's a fine.
You can't find somebody on their debut. It's not fair. But I can see exactly where Arteta's coming from because, look, at the end of the day, Cedric has become a bit of a laughing stock at Arsenal. He's not the best player in the world. We know that, but he won the Euros. He's got a huge amount of experience, both at club level and internationally. And look, I hope he doesn't have to play many or any minutes for us for the rest of the season. But if we're in, say, the Champions League semi-final and we have an injury crisis in defence and we're faced with the option of playing Cedric or somebody like Ruel Walters, you kind of have to play Cedric. I think you couldn't put somebody like Ruel Walters in on the pitch in that position. Now, people will say, might be shouting at the screen saying, but how are you ever going to find out if Ruel Walters is going to be going to make it? You have to give him game time. But I just think you have to pick and choose your battles, and I think it'd be, I think bringing Cedric on for the few minutes lately, I think is the right thing to do. Plus, as well, I know maybe this is kind of not a mute point, but I think I heard that Ruel Walters he's out of contract. Is it Ruel Walters out of contract at the end of this season? So there's that element to it as well. But I suppose you could just take that example with any kind of youth team player as opposed to any experienced pro. But look, we may need Cedric by the end of the season. We may need him, and I in one way I'm kind of glad he's getting a few minutes. That he's not coming on in the Champions League semi-final, having not played for us since 2019 or something.
Yeah, well, this is the issue. And yeah, he is out of contract. He's 19,
Yeah, you know what I mean.
and you look at it and you think, well, that pathway to the first team is going to be a long road. Unless you are a generational talent, then that path's made easy. If it isn't, then I don't know, you are going to be struggling. And yeah, has he been told by advisors that don't sign a contract, and that's why? Potentially, because you look at it, if he wants to fight, if he wants to bed in, I mean, 19 is still very young, and to be honest, being at a club like Arsenal at 19 and still a chance to kind of push on and be thought of as well, being put on the bench, they're obviously thinking a bit about you.
Yeah, like
But
it take yeah.
it's one of those, isn't it? It's just you look at it and just think, well, it's all down to how they're advised. Just like who's one who signed for Chelsea?
Hutchinson, Omari Hutchinson.
Amari Hudson, yeah, again, right? He's
Yeah,
played what?
perfect. He's a perfect example. Yeah, perfect example
Yeah,
of
and
how.
you look at it like that. It's just I don't know. It seems cut and dry the way we've kind of almost described it.
Yeah, I agree. And look, as you said, it takes an awful lot of talent as a 19-year-old and as an academy player to get on the bench at any Premier League club, let alone a top Premier League club. So he deserves an awful lot of credit. But I just think there's a big difference. It's a very fine line, but there's a big difference between, you know, being on the cusp of the first team and breaking into the first team. You have to be a special talent from the academy. And look, it only happens once every 10 years, probably even more. Like you're talking, who are we talking about? Jack Wilshere, Saka, obviously, David Rocastle. Like you don't get two or three every few seasons.
Oh,
And Ashley Cole, yeah, I didn't want to say
in that fullback position, that's what I'm saying. It's like you've got to be a.
I just want to say you just equalised. I said Cedric, you said Ashley Cole. So
All right, okay, all right. Well, let's call it quits, shall we?
we call it quits. Yeah,
Yeah, all right. But it shows.
Yeah, like it takes.
It's the advisors as well, and I think he probably wasn't advised greatly, as well as he didn't really think about things rationally. But also, Arsenal failed him, and I'll give him his dues. At the end of the day, Arsenal should have paid Ashley Cole whatever Ashley Cole wanted.
Yeah,
and we would have had that. And this is why I said at that point after the Invincibles, we maligned and we kind of just stagnated for that 14, 15 years. Relates to basically the last time we won a knockout stage game.
yes, yeah.
We stagnated our spending power and the ability to kind of add to our playing squad because we moved to the stadium and we had yellow-bellied owners who didn't want to invest, didn't want to do anything, and they hid behind we don't own the full club. And it's like, well, no, you could easily do it though, but you'll let the club go 14 odd years and then see it actually go down. You bought the club. I'm pretty certain they'd have spent less money keeping us where we were after we'd been the Invincibles and staying where we are to the amount of money now after buying the club to then try and put us back up there again. I know which ones are the most expensive. So, yeah, that's my Arsenal history.
Yeah. And just one thing, anytime I hear about or I think about us moving to the Emirates and us not being able to spend money, and one thing, just kind of paying a little bit of homage to Arsene Wenger. I'm sure everybody absolutely 100% knows this, but this is amazing that the banks wouldn't borrow Arsenal the money for the new stadium only unless Arsene Wenger signed a new contract, like whatever it was, 4 or 5, 6 year contract. Like that's insane. That a bank, a financial institution, just knew that that Wenger was going to guarantee them Champions League revenue, and I just think it's worth mentioning. I love that little kind of not a stat, but it just goes to show how highly regarded Arsene Wenger was at the time.
Yeah, but then also you saw how everyone turned on him.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, he probably did. He probably did stay around a little bit, a couple of seasons, few seasons too long, maybe. I was his biggest fan. Loved Arsene Wenger. He brought us so many good memories, but I think he found it hard to let go. And look, that's a story or a talk for another day. But
Yeah,
but the fact that the banks said no, we're not borrowing you this money until Arsene Wenger signs a new contract. Like that's mad.
mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually, I remember reading it, and it was you just looked at it and just think, this guy,
Yeah.
how he kept it all going, but on that basis of just no real backing, and he lost his mate David Dean, and that's where we lost our Arsenal then.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree to a certain extent. The two of them together were superb, and Wenger did say that he came very close to leaving Arsenal. I think he actually went into David Dean and told him that he was going to leave now that David Dean was gone, and David Dean, convinced him to stay, and he did. Now that was still during the time of where we were still winning a couple of things, I think. But yeah, it's just mad how the history can work out.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, I'm just going to say the C word. So Cedric's obviously up for expiration in at the end of the season as well. So so you could see two right backs going, unless Walters is potential, and then suddenly saying, okay, you sign your contract, and then you've got Cedric's kind of position. Yeah.
Squad,
We don't know. You don't know. We don't know what the situation is going to be, and obviously we haven't even discussed obviously Timber coming back in, and is he going to play left? Is he going to play right? What happens to Tomiyasu? Also, it's mental.
Yeah, I was just going to say that if I was Rule Walters, I'd be looking at the situation. Cedric is out of the question. He's gone in the summer.
Yeah.
Rule Walters will be behind Ben White. He'll still be behind Tomiyasu, and he'll be behind Timber. He'll be the fourth choice, as you say, basically in the Cedric position.
A long road.
Yeah, I just can't. It doesn't make any sense for him to sign a new contract, and it's probably why he hasn't. But you never know. Football's a funny thing. You never know.
Indeed it is. Ian, I'm going to go for a score prediction from you. I'm just going to go back to one I say from earlier. Daniel on Facebook. If you're still watching, Daniel, thanks. And keep watching. And he's gone 2-1 Arsenal. I'd happily take a 2-1, but now obviously no away goals. Always the scourge of Arsenal.
Yeah, the irony was that
it always the scourge of Arsenal unless we played Bayern Munich.
Yeah,
and then that was it. It was just Bayern Munich.
And the irony was that I think the first time after that rule was scrapped, we drew on aggregate. I can't remember who it was against. Recently enough, in the last couple of seasons, we drew on aggregate, and had the rule been in place, we would have went through on away goals.
It was Olympiacos, wasn't it? Or
yeah, it could have been. Yeah, it could have been. I just thought, no matter which way they dress this up, we can't get the better of it.
Yeah. We always suffer. So what do you reckon? What
based on, I heard a lot of people going 2-1, and I would snap the hand off anybody for that 2-1. Just based on the little bit of not research, but me having a look at what was going on in the Portuguese league, based on them being very good defensively, but not very good at scoring goals. I'm going to go for a tight 1-0 win, maybe 2-0, maybe 2-0. If we got an early goal, I could see us scoring again. Where have we heard that before? I may eat these words, but I don't know if they'll cause us an awful lot of problems. One thing I was looking at, and this is one of the reasons why, again, I don't want to be jinxing what's happening tomorrow, but their top scorer, Ivan Nielsen, his name is. He's the only player in the Portuguese, in the top 45 players, basically top scorers in the Portuguese league. He's the only Porto player. And the next one I think is like 48. That's mad. Like for a team, they're third in the league, and they have one player in the top 45 scorers this season, which is just insane. I think he only has 9 goals or something like that. And for that reason, they just seem to be at this point in time a little bit toothless in attack. Good in defence, but I think we're good enough to get a couple past.
They do certainly like you said, they're about like 30 goals behind Sport.
Yeah, they're a huge amount behind. It's weird that they're so high, haven't scored so few. But then again, it kind of makes sense when you factor in how few they've conceded. I think we'll beat them. I'm going to go 2-0. I'm going to say 2-0. I'm planting my flag.
I'm going to go 2-0. No. No, I'm going to go 2-1.
2-1.
That's be different.
Okay. That's the most popular score I've heard people predict. A lot of people are saying 2-1.
I need us to buck the trend of Porto beating us 2-1.
give one back to them.
Yeah, that's it. And yeah, I'm hoping we right a few wrongs. I think it will be a statement, I think, as well.
Yeah, it will be. What do you think? Here's a question for you. I was looking up today the outright odds for who's going to win the Champions League, and we're third favourite at the moment, according to Paddy Power's website today. We're third favourites behind City, are favourites, Madrid, Real Madrid second, and we're now ahead of Bayern. Now it's probably because their form has dipped recently, but do you put us there? Do you think that's right?
Look, I think on our day we can challenge anyone. It's just dependent on what Arsenal turns up on that day.
Yeah.
And if we've got every player available to us, certainly in those latter parts or those latter stages, and we're talking about we've got Partey to come off the bench or even like that. What just having a player like Partey just coming on for 20 minutes. Yeah, the experience he brings and the quality. We should be going around, and we could go through and beat anyone. But as I say, it just comes down to what we do. And sorry, I've just seen that Man City are 1-0 up.
Yeah.
So well, not just they've been 71 minutes. It's now injury time.
What minute did he score?
71. Haaland.
Yeah, he's inevitable.
Yeah, no, at the end of the day, that's it. They've had 23 shots, 71% possession, so it was on the cards.
They kind of deserve it, yeah. 71% possession and scoring in the 71st minute. I mean,
yeah, done.
Hard to argue.
No, that's it. But yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? It's they really expect them to win their home games, just like us.
Yeah, they were always going to win that. That's their game in hand. So they were, and Brentford at home. Brentford are awful at the moment, so it's no surprise.
Oh, they're not. They're just toothless, aren't they? They're real poor. But it means now the top 3 are separated by 2 points.
Yeah, which is crazy. It's great. Does it annoy you that Liverpool are like we all thought that Liverpool we taken Liverpool's spot in terms of being the team to go up against Man City? Does it annoy you that they're back so quickly, because they literally changed their whole midfield, and I thought they're going to have a season at least of rebuilding.
Yeah, they had. Well, look, they've always had the strikers, so I think that in itself, they've got a way of playing. They've still got the goalkeeper. They've still got the defenders. They've still got a lot of players that have been at the club probably for about 7-8 years. You look at all like your Trent Arnolds and everything like that, and
they still have Mo Salah doing the
Mo Salah, and you think you've got all them players there. All right, you lose Sane, but you've then still got your Nunes. You've still got there's still quality there. They've still done it, and to buy a couple of youngsters coming in as well.
Yeah, Connor Bradley's been sensational.
Yeah, so you look at it. Surprised. I think I'll be more surprised in the continuation of Liverpool after Klopp goes.
After Klopp, yeah, that's massive. Yeah, I agree.
If that appointment goes wrong, then it's it'll be a little bit interesting. But my money's on Steven Gerrard. So
to get the job. Seriously, as in you hope he gets it, or you
I'm hoping he gets it because I've seen what a great job he's done in Saudi.
Well, I mean, he's a top-notch manager. I would actually laugh myself asleep if he got announced as the Liverpool manager. It's not going to happen, but he's awful. He's an awful manager. Isn't it amazing how many great players, like sensational players, were such poor managers? It's there's a huge list of them. And as somebody said to me recently, this was completely random, that you look at all the managers now, they all seem to be kind of holding or midfielders, like the likes of Alonso, Arteta, or somebody named 4 or 5 of them, which now, of course, they're going to escape my brain. But they're like a lot of the new brand of managers now are all kind of midfield stalwarts. Whereas you have the likes of Henry was awful, Gerrard, Lampard,
Yeah. I don't know. Well, look, you even had some poor players that were poor managers. Gary Neville.
Yeah.
I think they're a little bit bitter. I think that's why they're a little bit on Arteta's plate. I think they're on him all the time because you can't take it.
He's younger than them. He's much more talented than them.
Better looking than them as well.
He's much more handsome, much more handsome as well. Yeah.
Luke Chadwick was a lot nicer looking than him, but it is what it is.
Poor old Luke Chadwick.
Yeah, God, but right. Tomorrow is tomorrow. The Suns. I'm gutted because I nearly got tickets. I mean, tickets went down to 2 on the away credits. I think they did. Yeah, then it was like they were limited tickets, and I'm. What was it? No, it was 5. It was on 5 credits, and I'm on 3. And I'm trying to build it up. It's
hard. It's hard to build it up.
Really hard. They're saying, no, because obviously we changed it. It's easier. And I said, well, I've tried. I've got there, and then couldn't get to the next level. And I was ready to book my flight, so I was going to go over there. And I've seen all the photos of the Gooners in the sun.
Looking at them today, it's hard seeing, especially in a sunny country. And
€1.50 pint of beer, sun shining. Look,
we're not bitter. We're not bitter.
We're not bitter, but go and have fun. Stay safe. Sing up. Keep the Arsenal strolling, and let's get the win and get back safe. And we go again on Saturday. But look, Ian, great debut today.
Thank you, and thanks very much for having me. It's an honour to be on. Thank you.
That's all right. We got through all the technical.
Yes.
Me and you, and then we're still working on Richard, but we'll get there. But no, really good show. Great opinions. Some really good stuff, mate. And have you on again.
Thank you, appreciate it.
We've got a few shows, so we'll get going. But look, it's 8 o'clock kickoff, isn't it, tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yeah. Liverpool are playing Luton tomorrow at 7:30. We're kicking off at 8.
I know what I'd rather be.
Yeah. There's only one game we care about.
Luton or Porto. Luton.
Yeah.
Be
There
the
is only one.
airport, I suppose, wouldn't it? Probably Luton Airport. Would be there.
Well, actually, yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
You watch.
we were there for about 20 minutes, and then we'd have gone over to Porto. But that's it. Thank you everyone for watching. This has been the late Big Sunday show. Ian, thank you. I'm the Bray. I'm going to be around Finsbury Park at the weekend, trying to get opinions for the ticketing. So I'm going to try and get a few people just in and around to try and get their thoughts, because I think this is really going to kick off. I'm not sure we've heard the last of it, although I don't think it's going to really affect much. But I think there's a lot of negativity with the fan base on that side. So yeah, that's Saturday. It's going to be a long day. 8 o'clock. That's just.
That's a lot of pints. That's a lot of drinking.
That's a lot of beer drinking time, isn't it? That's
it's a lot.
Can't really say to the missus we kick off at lunchtime.
Yeah, and you know what's killing me? My daughter is going to see Niall Horan in the Tree Arena in Dublin, and I have to collect them afterwards. So I can't even have a beer watching the match. Shocking.
That is a nightmare.
Because Saturday night 8 p.m. kickoff, that's ripe for lots of alcohol, and I won't even be able to have one.
I'll have a Guinness for you.
Well, thanks very much. Yeah,
I'll rate you a Guinness or two.
or two.
But yeah, no, look, really good. As I say, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please log on to YouTube and do the necessary. Really help us. I'll do a giveaway at some point. Someone's going to get a prize.
Yeah.
Someone's going to get a prize. But we need to get to 1,000. So let's go. And Liam is back on Thursday. Yeah, the Summit show, the North Bank Summit show on Thursday, probably about 8:30. But stay tuned. More news on that. We'll be back. Yeah, we will be back on Sunday with a hangover. Well, no, I'll be gone by then. 100%. We'll be back on Sunday with some more guests. Probably Ian. Probably just he's loving that we've beaten Newcastle 5-6-0.
I know. I want it so bad. I want that so bad.
If that happens, I need to come up with an excuse to tell the missus I'm not coming back tonight. I think that'd be quite a statement. That'd be a real. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
It would just be such a nice feeling as well. But let's just worry about tomorrow, and then let's just get the first 2 goals, and then worry about 6 afterwards. But yeah, thank you everyone. In the North Bank, over and out. Have a good evening, Ian, and we'll catch you soon.
Yeah, you too, Paul. And again, thanks very much. Really enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you again soon.
See you soon. Cheers.
Be good. Bye-bye.